Well, here we are on the following Monday. Got down here a couple of hours ago. Martin's in number 10, the old favourite, and I'm in good old number 9. And he's had a couple already, and he's just into another fish, so...
See all that weed up the line?
I'm going to get my little channel box in case I want to get a bite.
There's a fair bit of the old silkweed, isn't there, growing on the bottom, and it like kind of festoons the line, really, doesn't it, Martin?
Yeah.
So you had a 23 yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a 23 and then I lost a couple like in quick succession.
Yeah.
One of them was quite a good one at the net, like I see it in the head torch, like it was dark and the hook pulled out just as I was about to net him.
Yeah, get ya.
But I was a little bit despondent last night and this morning when I woke up without any more take.
But the fish are still out there, aren't they, in the same area as last week, aren't they?
Yeah, every now and again one will show right on the money, and it's been all day really that I ain't had a take until now. Staying on the side.
What was this one on, Martin?
I've got a Malteser.
Christmas cracker again.
Was it?
Yeah.
What, with a stringer?
Yeah, a weird sweet corn stringer, yeah.
What'd you get the other ones on?
They was on two boiler stringers, like just 20mm boilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God. This one was fallen. I've got to try and get this to the line.
That's a definite 30-pounder, I'd say.
Good in, mate. Get back.
Quite a lively one. So let's grab this.
Well,
What's it in?
These old avid carp cradles are good, aren't they, mate?
Yeah, it seems a good bit of kit, mate. I've just sort of borrowed it for a minute off Ian.
Short it, ain't you? Look at that, that's a good fish now, isn't it?
Gives them plenty of protection, though, don't it? Won't have enough.
Is that 29 something? Yeah.
29.
It is as well, yeah.
It's been obscured by your flat things.
29. Put that at 33. Big fish, isn't it?
Yeah,
29.10.
So,
Nice one. Right, Martin, are you feeling strong enough to hold this one, mate?
yeah.
So what was that, 29.10?
29.10, yeah.
Cracking fish.
Crappy old bloody Ruben. No, he don't look big like that now, you get him out, he's quite lean, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's a nice carp, mate.
Yeah, it's a nice fish, isn't it?
Lovely.
Skill's taken. What's yours here, Mark?
Yeah, you can rattle a couple off, mate. And no pictures to afraid.
Well happy with that one then, boy?
Yeah, well happy, mate, yeah.
Pucker fish.
So it makes up for the one that I lost earlier, because that was quite a good one.
Was it a good one, was it? Got
Yeah,
quite
I got a bit of a
Was
of a
it
look
bigger
at
than that? Get up for one more, mate. Just
lovely with the shine on it.
I've had 7 altogether, like yesterday just went mayhem, like just one after another, just kept chucking back to me clip. When I got here, I mean the last couple of weeks I sort of more or less know where the gullies are, but this week I chucked a marker out and got the markers, marked my lines up as I got here, like, so now I ain't got to chuck a marker out again, but I know exactly where the gully starts and where it finishes. So it's been easy to get the rods back out positioned with minimal disturbance, and like I've been getting my rod back out and just turning around and it's ripping off. So like it's definitely paid worthwhile doing that, I think. I was using the XS boilies, sticky baits. Like, I baited up with half a kilo and then like kept topping up when I was catching fish, but then I ran out of bait because I only bought a kilo with me, which is probably schoolboy error, but I weren't expecting to catch as many fish as what I've caught. So I changed over to sweet corn stringers, which I've got almost faith in anyway, and they seem to be still doing the bites. So I had quite a few fish yesterday, a couple of doubles, a 25 common, I know I had a 33.5 common, which is a mint fish, like, which you see pictures of, and I've just had a mirror. I don't know how big that is, probably up to 20, and to be fair, I've lost count now, but it's 7 fish all in total and lost 3, maybe 4 actually, because I had another dodgy take, and I don't know whether it was a take or whether it was a fish towing tackle, but it keeps showing out on the spot, so I keep getting the rods back out there, and while getting takes, like, you know, we'll see how it goes, like, you know, but it seems to be going well so far. It's quite busy on the lake, and like I've got Jamie to the right of me and I've got Ian Russell to the left of me, and like pretty much everybody's fishing out in the middle, and there's not that much room either way, so like when you get a take I'm trying to like panic trying to get it in so that I'm just not going to go over anybody else. I mean, the 30 pounder, the common that I caught, like I ended up sort of landing it in Ian Russell swimming his landing net, which was nice to lend me his net, but you know, like I said, like, you know, you try and get them in as quick as you can, and then once they're out of line's way, then you can just play them in your little bit of water, or, you know, without disturbing anybody else. But it does be a little bit air raising at times, like especially in the dark, because you don't even know where they are. Like, you know, they just kind of kite you left or right, and all you can do is try and get them in as quick as you can and hope that you don't hear no buzzers while you're doing it. But let's get his mirror out and see what he weighs. It looks nice fish anyway. Just under again, isn't it?
29. 29 and a half.
Yeah.
29 and a half.
That'll do, boy. That'll do. It's looking good though.
That was beautiful, mate.
You can see why he gave me a good scrap, can't you?
Yeah, mate. Like that. Lovely dark one, isn't
Yeah. Oh, it's got a little dip in his back. Turn around and show you the other side, because he's got a few big scales on the other side. I think again a lot of these fish seem to have, they're a little bit down in weight, and seem to look a lot bigger than what they actually are.
That's it.
I mean, undoubtedly, like, you know, this fish has been over 30 pounds at some point in the last year. See, he's got some nice scales on this side. Well, a nice one to end a good night fishing. I mean, it's mad fishing. Like, you know, they say the last 24 hours is just, especially like having struggled the last couple of weeks, you know, it certainly makes things all worthwhile, and all that effort's paid back again. Right, I'll get him back into fighting another day.
Oh, you just had one then,
mate? Yeah, I just had another one.
Cracking.
It's a nice little chunky mirror. It gave me a bit of a scrap actually. Sort of look, you know, took me one of my other rods out, but I got him in the end.
Looks like a 20, mate.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It might be a scraper.
Nice, you've had a blinding session.
Yeah, it's been mental, mate. You know, like I mean, you know, from all that struggling, and then it all comes good in the end. And to be fair, like, I mean, I'm catching on what I was using originally, like, you know, sort of. Yeah, well, I mean, we've started off like up the other end, like, you know, we've had some blinding sessions, haven't we? But I mean, you have, you know what I mean? And like, I've been doing a lot of photographing and that, but
and very fine photographing it is as well, Mark.
Yeah. But
I mean, it all started in this one, didn't it? I mean, we was in here.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in this one. You was in good old number 9. and we were zigging, weren't we?
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's quite nice weather.
You were getting them takes on the zig when the sun was out, like, and then you started getting the takes off the bottom as well, weren't you?
Exactly.
So it's like a case of like, as soon as that cloud come over, it were worth having them out on the bottom.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's been chopping and changing between the zigs and the bottom baits, hasn't it? When the weather's good,
it's
you
work
stick the zigs on
for the
ya?
day, like, yeah, and then
Exactly.
get them out at night on the
Exactly.
bottom. And but to be fair, like, you know, they seem to be having them off the bottom more now, as I would say, like.
Well, they're getting their heads down, aren't they? at the
Yeah,
moment?
yeah, certainly. Like, you know, there's crashing every night, isn't there? It seems to be showing up.
Mental.
mad
I mean, the
every night.
shows that are out here at the moment, I mean, they've been out there for over a week now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like, so there must have been a fair bit of bait out there. But it was funny because we started in this one, and then we had a little go. There was that little social that we had with John Miller and all the boys.
Yeah,
And
when we was in 13 and well 12. You was in 13, I was in 12.
That was
I mean, I ended up getting that one right at the end, and I mean, I was struggling then when I mean, you was catching around fish and he was catching them down here, and then like I had that 27 common, and I mean, to be fair, that was the first fish I've had in ages, so like, you know, it was just so welcome, like,
Yeah, I
and
know.
nice fish as well.
Beautiful fish.
And like sort of since then, you know, I mean, I had another blank, didn't I? You know, last time I come down, you know, I had another blank, and
Yeah. Well, it
um,
was funny because we fished the Coxer that night, didn't we?
yeah,
And
yeah.
We moved up to like number 13, number 14, and there was definitely a few fish out there, weren't there?
Yeah.
But, I
there
mean,
was,
I had that one, and I think he was like one
I
of the
don't
best.
think there was many. I mean, there was loads of fish down here still, wasn't there? I mean,
There
I
was,
woke,
yeah.
I woke up in the night, didn't I, and I had loads of fish down here, like,
That was
and then like this swim come free, which you know you got in straight away, didn't you? So
Yeah.
like, I mean, as soon as you got in here, you started getting bites, didn't you? It was
Exactly.
just a case of getting on a minute at the end of the day. And
Well, I mean, that's it. You're on them. Like, once you're on that group, I mean, on here, there's probably the main group or a couple of like main groups. And I mean, like, literally, as I say, we had like one fish up there.
yeah.
Then these come free. Dave Wibley was in here. He said, "Mate, get in here because there's a load of fish."
Yeah, a load
like,
of fish
out
showing
here."
out in the gully, like, yeah.
So come in here. You went in good old number 9 again, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, my old favourite.
The old favourite. And I mean, like, literally, I had how many did I have? About 5. I had 4 out of it, didn't I? Something
Yeah,
like
you
that.
had one up there, yeah.
And it's weird because I remember we were talking about it, and it was almost like, you know, you were doubting what you were doing.
Yeah, I
weren't
was
you?
though. You know, like I mean, them rigs are. I mean, I've caught so many fish on them rigs,
Of course
and
you
I shouldn't be doubting it. You know, and like, I don't know, because I was so close to you, and you're getting so many bites. I'm sort of thinking, well, why ain't I getting the bites? You know what I mean? And that's just how it is, isn't it? I mean,
That
at
is
the end
how
of the
it
day,
is.
I mean, like, these rigs what I've caught on today are the same rigs that I've been blanking on like the last few. Well, not the same rigs, but the same exact, you know, same rigs. But like, there's just a case of having the right thing out at the right day in that aspect, like, you
I
know.
think you have to persevere, mate. I mean, for the same, you could have been hauling, and I would have been catching nothing.
I
Do
mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, when I got down here this trip, like, you know, I started sort of changing over to PVA bags rather than the corn stringers, and then, like, you know, this week, like, you know, I sort of thrown sticked out half a kilo of boilies,
Did
you
you?
know, and like, I caught with the stringers, you know, with like 20mm stringers, like 2 20mm boilies on a stringer, like,
Right.
out there, and like, when I ran out of bait, you know, I mean, I only bought a kilo with me because I was only going to try it on one rod. I ended up with it all on all 3.
Yeah.
And I ran out of bait quite quick. And like when I ran out of bait, like I was a bit of a like, dilemma, like what to do next, you know. And I put the corn stringers on, which is what I was using originally, and like my catch rate, if anything, like I started getting even more takes, you know. So it just goes to show that what I was using originally was
Worked.
not. Yeah, it
Of
worked,
course it
and
works.
like
I
it
mean-
was just no point doubting it, really, you know.
You just, I think all anglers go through that. I mean, there's this great joke that we use, isn't it? You know, you're fishing area, and you won't catch anything. There's fish boshing and that, and you think, is it the bait? Is it the rig? And it's never the bait or the rig because there's stuff that you've caught on like untold times.
No, that's right. I mean, to be fair, like, you know, once you've got a rig that you're happy with, like, you know, you should have utmost confidence with it. And like, I mean, I suppose there is different situations on different lakes where you're changing that, but I mean, that rig really works well on here. So I don't know why I was, you know, faffing around changing it. To be fair.
Exactly. And what is it? Your old faithful waft?
Yeah, just my normal like size 8 wide gate with sort of 7-8 inch long hook link with like a little bit stripped back near the hook, and
Yeah.
you know, tiny little pop up on on there, a little number 4 split shot holding it down, which is what I've used. I mean, I've showed you it before, like,
it
you know,
works
it's
every
just
time, doesn't it?
it's just a rig that I've got most confidence in. I've used it for years.
Yeah. So how many you had now then this session?
I've had 9. Yeah, I've had nine fish so far. Like,
What was the best one?
33.5 common. The minter as well. Yeah, it was a minter fish. Like, yeah. But yeah, it's been quite crazy, you know, from struggling to catching loads. It seems like such a change around.
And a lot of them are coming on the old right-hand rod, aren't they?
Yeah, out the gully, mate. I've had a couple of takes on one of them, on one of the other ones, and one on the other. But all the rest have been on one rod. So majority have been on the right-hand rod, like.
Yeah. So quite often on Sandhurst, like the action's quite localised.
Yeah. You know, like you can get back. I mean, if you mark your line down now, you know, you get back to the clip. I'd say that's another thing. What I didn't say, like, you know, so like when I got down here. I mean, the last few weeks when we've been down, I mean, I've just been like sort of chucking out to where I think the gully is and feeling for a drop and getting a good drop. And
you feel.
You feel the lead down, like, and this week, like, you know, I decided to sort of just, because I was on here on my own, I wouldn't be interfering with anybody. I just launched a marker float out and found the gully exactly where it starts and and like, you know, my lines are clipped up to that, like, you know, so like I can get them out pretty much easy enough, and I know I'm fishing, and that's that doubt in your head, like, you know, am I in the gully, ain't I in the gully, you know what I mean, and like, I know I'm in the gully, do you know what I mean, because it's marked out, do you know what I mean, and like, it just takes that little bit of doubt out of my head and gives me a bit more confidence, I think.
Well, you like to be a little bit more particular about your fishing. With me, I'm a great believer in, for example, if I'm watching fish, say, boshing out here,
yeah,
you know, say in a general area, if I flick 3 singles, as long as I'm in the general area, then I'm happy, like, that I've got like 3 singles in amongst where the feeding fish are, because invariably where the fish are jumping, it's over old bait and all that.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
As long as I've got 3 baits in the general area, I'm happy. But the way you go about your fishing and have done it in the past, you're a little bit more particular, aren't you?
Yeah,
like you say, you like to stick a marker out there to find out exactly where you are in that trench.
Yeah. I mean, I have fished the other way, and it has worked for me before. But like, I think, like, you know, this is just more the way how I fished, you know what I mean? I feel more confident like that, and like, confidence is everything, isn't it?
Confidence is everything.
You know, like, when you're starting to doubt things, you start changing things that shouldn't be changed, and, you know, I mean, I was using size 6 hooks the other day, you know, like, and I don't use size 6 hooks unless I have to, you know, you ain't got to use them on here.
Well, I think, I mean, like I said before, it's almost like you can change things. Say, for example, with a bottom bait rig, you know, I mean, I was showing you, and I've like showing you the old bottom bait rig with a bit of tubing around the bend, cranked over a bit of tubing. Now, you know, that's my bottom bait rig. Now, I can change it according to like a slightly different pattern of.
Well, you showed me them 3 different hooks you
exactly,
using, like, totally different rigs, isn't it? Just from changing an hook.
Exactly. So, you know, you can change little things. It's a little bit like match fishing. You know, change the length of your hook length slightly, or change the size of the hook down, or something like that, or the size of the rig, but the mechanics of the rig always stay
the same, yeah.
So,
yeah, like, I mean, that rig I use, like, you know, I mean, sometimes, like, if I'm fishing over a little bit of debris or whatever, I'll lengthen it a little bit, or if I'm sort of fishing for slightly smaller fish, I'll shorten it a little bit, or pressured fish, I'll shorten it a little bit sometimes, but pretty much it just generally just stays the same, like, you know. Which is, you know, sort of, it makes it easier work for yourself as well. Like, if you start complicating things and that, you know, you forever tie in different rigs up and that, you know.
There's no point to it, no point to it. I mean, it's funny, because when we started, it was very wintry, wasn't it? Like, you know, in here, the whole wind was blowing in here, something rotten, wasn't it?
Man,
and now it's like almost like full spring, isn't it? It's April now.
Change around, isn't it?
It's April now, and you know, it's getting a little bit busier here, so I think this will probably be our last session over here, won't it?
Yeah.
We go off and do other things.
I mean, when we come down last time, there was 21 people on here on Sunday, wasn't there? We had to go on the Cops Lake for the night, and then we'll come over here.
Well, hopefully we'll get a few more, mate?
Yeah, well, you never know, mate. We've got a few hours left, so, you know, chances are we've got a chance of another bite at least. Like, it's a good time anyway, isn't it? Just game up for pictures. There you go, another Sandhurst mirror. Not a bad end to the good session, mate. I'm sort of a little bit blown away by it all, to be fair, after all that struggling. I'll get him back in the water to fight another day.
What a difference a fair few weeks makes, eh? When we were first in here, it was really wintry, horrible, really rank conditions, didn't really catch anything. But as the weeks progressed, the fishing's got better and better. I had a move round to swim number 10 over there, caught them on the zigs, and I've moved around the lake, kind of following the fish. Now, as you heard in our last conversation, what you're usually doing on Sandhurst is fishing for the bulk of the fish. And you'll usually see them jumping over people's bait. Essentially, a lot of people come down to Sandhurst, spot out a lot of bait, catapult out a lot of bait, and the fish are used to going around the lake and basically feeding on that bait 3 days later, 3 or 4 days later. So all the fish that you're seeing showing are showing over other people's bait. Now the fish usually, if you ever see the Sandhurst map, there's a lot of deep silty depressions, and it's almost, they just go up and down the lake, grazing like cows on the bait that's out there. So my philosophy is always quite simple: stick 3 tutti fruities out there, either a couple of free baits on a PVA stringer, or just as singles with like a little Enterprise sweet corn topper on there, just as a little enticer, and that in amongst the food that the fish are already feeding on, to me, will always get a bite. Now looking back at the footage, it's been quite interesting that Martin started using stuff he wouldn't ordinarily use. Now he had a little break last year, bless him, from the old fishing to do other things. Martin, shame on you. And anyways, like he'd almost like kind of felt that he weren't really into it. Now all of us have that, you know. If you have like a long break from fishing, you ain't feeling the vibes, you know, and you come down here, you won't catch a couple of times, and you start becoming a bit disheartened. But as we all know, the stuff that like we catch, you know, that we've caught on everywhere that we've taken it. So Martin's old favourite, all the fish that he caught, you know, that you saw caught in the last clip, they were all near enough all on his ever faithful sweet corn stringer rig with a little chopped down yellow pop-up. Now if you want to see how to tie that, look at the other video on the website, on the Carp Flicks TV, and you can see me and Martin down at Bradley's, and basically Martin will be telling you exactly how to tie his rig up with a cranked over bit of tubing, little wafter rig, and it's like how to prepare his sweet corn stringer. So it's a bit of a deadly method. So I definitely recommend that you watch that one, because it's well interesting. Anyways, as I was saying, it was well wintry when we were first in here, but now it's like in its full spring glory near enough. It's mid-April, so we're off to do other things. I think the next time I'm going to be with my mate Dave Benton, so you can catch us then.